Scotland is second. Stewart is P3. Stewart improved his first with a 0:57.470. Phil is P2. Colin is P3 up 0.11. Colin improved his sixth with a 0:58.679. 1.209 off pole. Stu from Scotland is seventh up 0.20. Stewart is P1 up 0.43. "25 minutes remaining in the session. Stewart is provisional pole with a 0:57.076. Steve from United Kingdom is third up 0.14. Stu is eighth. Stu improved his P8 with a 0:59.048. 1.972 of pole. Andy from Spain is third up 0.32. Andy improved his second with a 0:57.332. 0.256 of pole. Phil is sixth. Phil improved his P3 with a 0:57.719. 0.643 off pole. Paul from England is sixth. Paul improved his P3 with a 0:57.580. 0.504 off pole. James is P9. James improved his P8 with a 0:58.578. 1.502 off pole. Steve is fourth up 0.18. Steve improved his P2 with a 0:57.118. 0.042 off pole. Assetto from Italy is 12th. Paul is P4 up 0.10. Stu is 10th. Paul is 4th up 0.18. Pete from Antigua and Barbuda is P7 up 0.37. Pete improved his 7th with a 0:58.455. 1.379 of pole. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Stu is 10th. Stu improved his 10th with a 0:58.742. 1.666 off pole. Assetto is P12 up 2.77. Paul is P4. Paul improved his 3rd with a 0:57.283. 0.207 off pole. Assetto is P12. Assetto improved his P11 with a 0:59.710. 2.634 off pole. Henry from United Kingdom is P5. Pete is 8th. Best lap is a 0:58.450. 1.374 off pole. Henry is P5. James is 9th. Paul is P3. 0.11. Paul is P3 up 0.11. Stewart is P1. Henry is P5. Henry improved his fifth with a 0:57.551. 0.475 off pole. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Pete is P8. Pete improved his P8 with a 0:58.018. 0.942 off pole. Phil is 6th up 0.10. Andy is P4. Henry is P5. Phil is 6th. Pete is P8 up 0.11. Best lap is a 0:58.018. 0.942 off pole. Stewart is P1. Best lap is a 0:57.076. Henry is P5. Dan from England is 7th up 0.11. Dan improved is 6th with a 0:57.570. 0.494 off pole. Phil is 7th up 0.11. Minutes remaining in the session. Paul is 3rd up 0.10. Henry is 5th up 0.19. Andy is P4. Phil is P7. Henry is 5th. Henry improved is P5 with a 0:57.391. 0.315 off pole. Dan is 6th. Colin is 8th up 0.11. Five minutes remaining in the session. Dan is P6 up 0.19. Best lap is a 0:57.570. 0.494 off pole. Hassub is P12. Pete is 9th. Henry is P4 up 0.14. Pete is P9 up 0.11. Dan is P6 up 0.17. Stewart is P1. Hassub is 12th up 0.18. Pete is 9th. Hassub is 12th. Hassub improved is P12 with a 0:59.300. 2.224 off pole. Pete is 9th up 0.16. Pete improved his 8th with a 0:57.940. 0.864 off pole. Paul is P3. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Stewart is P1. Paul is third. Best lap is a 0:57.228. 0.152 off pole. The race session is at version of the track with additional pits by Fockway in Launceston, Australia. The wind speed is 4 km/h from the northeast. Stewart is first. Steve from United Kingdom is P2. Paul from England is P3. Henry from United Kingdom is 4th. Andy from Spain is 5th. Dan from England is P6. Phil is P7. Pete from Antigua and Barbuda is 8th. Colin from Scotland is P9. James is 10th. Stu from Scotland is P11. Hassab from Italy is P12. Alex from England is 13th. Stuart is first. Remaining in the session. Race start. Henry is third. Steve is second. Henry is P3. Steve is P2. Steve is second. Paul is third. Steve is P2. Henry is third. Steve is P2. Is third, 0.3 ahead of Henry. Steve is P2, 0.8 behind Stuart. Henry on lap 2 is fourth, 0.3 ahead of Andy. Steve on lap 2 is second, 0.8 behind Stuart. Paul is P3, 0.5 ahead of Henry. Steve on lap 2 is second, 0.8 behind Stuart. Henry is P4, 0.4 behind Paul. Steve is P2, 0.8 behind Stuart. Henry is 4th, 0.5 behind Paul. Steve is second, 0.7 behind Stuart. Henry on lap 3 is fourth, 0.4 behind Paul. Steve is second, 0.2 behind Stuart. Henry on lap 3 is fourth, 0.4 behind Paul. Andy is fifth, 0.5 ahead of Dan. Dan was 0.6 faster last lap. Steve is P2, 0.4 behind Stuart. Paul is P3, 0.5 ahead of Henry. Steve is second, 0.2 behind Stuart. Paul is third. Steve is P2, 0.6 behind Stuart. Paul is third, 0.5 ahead of Henry. Steve is P2, 0.7 ahead of Paul. Paul is P3, 0.7 behind Steve. Steve is second, 0.7 behind Stuart. Paul is third, 0.5 behind Steve. Steve is second, 0.6 ahead of Paul. Lap is a 0:57.783. 0.094 of the fastest lap. Steve on lap 4 is second, 0.6 ahead of Paul. Paul is third, 0.9 ahead of Henry. Steve is second, 0.8 behind Stuart. Paul is third, 0.9 ahead of Henry. Steve is second, 0.7 behind Stuart. of Henry. Steve is second, 0.8 behind Stewart. Paul is third, 0.9 ahead of Henry. Steve is second, 0.5 behind Stewart. Paul is third, 0.9 ahead of Henry. Steve is P2, 0.6 behind Stewart. Paul is P3, 1.0 behind Steve. Steve is second. Best lap is a 0:57.541. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Paul on lap 6 is P3, 0.9 behind Steve. Steve is P2, 0.6 behind Stewart. Paul is P3, 0.9 behind Steve. Steve is P2, 0.8 ahead of Paul. Paul is P3, 0.8 behind Steve. Steve is second, 0.8 ahead of Paul. Paul is third, 0.9 behind Steve. Steve on lap 6 is second, 0.7 behind Stewart. Paul is P3, 0.8 behind Steve. Steve is P2, 0.4 behind Stewart. Paul is third, 0.6 behind Steve. Steve is second, 0.2 behind Stewart. Paul is P2, 0.7 ahead of Steve. Henry on lap 7 is third, 1.0 ahead of Steve. Alex is P5, 0.2 behind Steve. Henry on lap 7 is third, 0.8 behind Paul. Paul was 0.7 faster last lap. Phil is P8. Henry is third, 0.2 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.2 ahead of Dan. Henry is third, 0.3 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.6 ahead of Dan. Dan was 1.0 faster last lap. Henry is P3, 0.6 behind Paul. Alex is P5. Best lap is a 0:57.473. 0.125 of the fastest lap. Henry on lap 8 is P3, 0.5 behind Paul. Alex is 5th, 0.1 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd, 0.5 behind Paul. Henry was 1.6 faster last lap. Alex is P5, 0.4 behind Steve. Henry is P3, 0.5 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.5 behind Steve. Henry on lap 9 is P3, 0.3 behind Paul. Alex is 5th, 0.5 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd, 0.4 behind Paul. Alex is 5th, 0.4 behind Steve. Henry on lap 9 is 3rd, 0.6 behind Paul. Alex on lap 9 is 5th, 0.3 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd. Alex on lap 9 is 5th, 0.5 behind Steve. Henry is P3, 0.5 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.6 behind Steve. Henry is P3, 0.6 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.7 behind Steve. 0.9 behind Paul. Alex is 5th, 0.5 behind Steve. Henry is P3, 0.9 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.7 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd. Alex is P5, 0.8 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd, 1.2 behind Paul. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Alex is P5, 1.2 behind Steve. Henry on lap 11 is 3rd, 1.4 behind Paul. Alex is 5th, 1.2 behind Steve. Colin is 9th. Best lap is a 0:58.092. 0.877 of the fastest lap. Steve is 4th, 1.2 ahead of Alex. Alex is 5th, 1.3 behind Steve. Steve is 4th. Henry is P3, 1.4 behind Paul. 0.5 faster last lap. Steve on lap 12 is P4, 1.3 ahead of Alex. Henry is 3rd, 1.3 ahead of Steve. Steve is 4th, 1.4 behind Henry. Henry is P3, 1.5 ahead of Steve. Steve is 4th, 1.0 ahead of Alex. Henry is 3rd. Steve is 4th, 0.9 ahead of Alex. Alex is 5th, 1.1 behind Steve. Steve is P4, 1.1 ahead of Alex. Alex on lap 13 is P5, 1.0 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd, 1.2 ahead of Steve. Steve is 4th, 1.1 behind Henry. Phil is P8, 0.3 behind James. Steve is P4, 1.1 behind Henry. Alex is P5, 1.5 behind Steve. Steve on lap 13 is P4, 1.0 behind Henry. Phil is 8th, 0.8 ahead of Pete. Steve is P4, 0.8 behind Henry. Alex is P5, 1.5 behind Steve. Steve is 4th, 1.0 behind Henry. Alex on lap 14 is P5, 1.5 behind Steve. Steve is 4th, 0.9 behind Henry. Alex is P5, 1.2 behind Steve. Steve on lap 14 is 4th, 1.0 behind Henry. Alex is 5th, 1.1 behind Steve. Steve is 4th, 1.1 behind Henry. Alex is P5, 1.1 behind Steve. Henry is P3, 1.0 ahead of Steve. Steve is 4th, 0.8 ahead of Alex. Henry is P3, 1.1 ahead of Steve. Steve on lap 15 is P4, 1.1 ahead of Alex. Henry is 3rd. Best lap is a 0:57.432. 0.217 of the fastest lap. Steve is P4, 0.6 ahead of Alex. Henry is 3rd, 1.1 behind Paul. Alex on lap 15 is 5th, 0.5 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd, 1.1 behind Paul. Steve is 4th, 0.6 ahead of Alex. Henry is P3, 1.2 behind Paul. Steve is P4, 0.5 ahead of Alex. Henry is P3, 1.2 ahead of Steve. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Steve is P4, 0.2 ahead of Alex. Henry is 3rd, 1.0 behind Paul. Steve is P4, 0.2 ahead of Alex. Henry is P3, 1.0 behind Paul. Steve is P4, 1.7 ahead of Alex. Alex was 0.5 faster last lap. Henry is P3, 1.2 behind Paul. James is 8th, 0.4 behind Phil. Henry is P3, 1.2 behind Paul. James is P8, 0.3 ahead of Andy. Henry is P3, 1.2 behind Paul. James is 8th, 0.4 ahead of Andy. Henry is P3. James on lap 17 is 8th, 0.4 ahead of Andy. Henry is P3, 1.3 behind Paul. Andy is P8, 0.9 behind James. Henry is P3, 1.4 behind Paul. Steve is P4, 1.4 behind Henry. Henry is 3rd, 1.4 ahead of Steve. Steve is 4th. Best lap is a 0:57.286. 0.071 of the fastest lap. Andy is P8, 1.1 behind James. Steve on lap 18 is P4, 1.4 behind Henry. Andy on lap 18 is P8, 0.8 behind James. James was 0.6 faster last lap. Steve on lap 18 is 4th, 1.4 behind Henry. Andy is 8th, 0.8 behind James. Steve is 4th, 1.2 behind Henry. Andy is P8, 0.7 behind James. Steve is 4th, 1.3 behind Henry. Andy is 8th, 0.5 behind James. Alex is P5. Best lap is a 0:57.176. Andy is P8. Best lap is a 0:57.718. 0.542 of the fastest lap. Steve on lap 19 is P4, 1.2 ahead of Alex. Alex is 5th, 1.5 behind Steve. Andy is 8th, 0.4 behind James. Alex is 5th, 0.9 behind Steve. Alex was 0.8 faster last lap. Andy is 8th, 0.3 behind James. Alex is 5th, 1.3 behind Steve. Henry is 3rd. Alex is P5. Pete on lap 20 is P10, 0.2 behind Colin. Henry is P3, 1.5 behind Paul. Alex is P5, 0.8 behind Steve. Pete on lap 20 is 10th, 0.2 behind Colin. Alex is P5, 0.8 behind Steve. Colin on lap 20 is P10, 0.2 behind Pete. Steve is 4th, 0.8 ahead of Alex. Alex is 5th. Colin is 10th, 0.2 behind Pete. Alex is 5th, 0.8 behind Steve. The leader has just finished the race. Stewart finished first. Hall finished P2. Henry finished P3. Steve finished P4. Alex finished 5th. Dan finished 6th. Andy finished P7. James finished P8. Pete finished P9. Phil finished 10th. Colin finished 11th. Hassab finished P12. Stu finished P13. The race session is at version of the track with additional pits by Fockway in Launceston, Australia. The wind speed is 14 km/h from the northeast. Phil is first. Pete from Antigua and Barbuda is P2. James is P3. Andy from Spain is 4th. Dan from England is 5th. Alex from England is 6th. Steve from United Kingdom is 7th. Henry from United Kingdom is P8. Paul from England is 9th. Stuart is 10th. Colin from Scotland is P11. Hassab from Italy is P12. Stu from Scotland is P13. Phil is first. Session. Race start. Andy is third. Phil is P2. Andy is P3. Alex is 4th. Andy is 3rd. Dan is 5th. Alex is P3. Phil is second. Andy is third, 0.4 ahead of Dan. Phil on lap 2 is P2, 1.2 behind Pete. Dan is P4, 0.7 ahead of Alex. Phil is P2, 1.1 behind Pete. Dan is P4, 0.6 ahead of Alex. Phil is P2. Best lap is a 1:03.990. 1.495 of the fastest lap. Dan is P4, 0.4 ahead of Alex. Phil is P2, 1.5 behind Pete. Andy is P3. Phil on lap 3 is second, 1.2 behind Pete. Dan on lap 3 is fourth, 0.5 ahead of Alex. Phil is second, 0.5 behind Pete. Andy is third, 0.7 ahead of Dan. Phil is P2, 0.5 behind Pete. Andy is P3, 0.7 ahead of Dan. Phil is P2, 0.4 behind Pete. Andy is P3, 0.7 ahead of Dan. Phil is P2, 0.5 behind Pete. Andy is third, 0.9 ahead of Alex. Phil is P2, 0.5 behind Pete. Phil was 0.9 faster last lap. Andy is third. Best lap is a 0:58.031. 0.507 of the fastest lap. Alex is fourth. Best lap is a 0:57.524. Phil is P2, 0.3 behind Pete. Andy is P3, 0.2 behind Phil. Phil is second, 0.1 behind Pete. Andy is P3, 0.3 behind Phil. Alex is fourth. Pete is third, 0.1 ahead of Andy. Alex on lap 5 is second, 0.2 behind Phil. Pete is P3. Best lap is a 0:58.583. 1.059 of the fastest lap. Alex is second, 0.4 behind Phil. Dan is P4. Best lap is a 0:58.273. 0.749 of the fastest lap. Dan is now P6. Alex is P2. Alex lost P2 to Pete. Andy is P4, 0.7 ahead of Henry. Alex is P3. Andy is P4, 0.6 behind Alex. Alex is third, 0.4 behind Pete. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Andy is P4. Alex is second, 0.2 ahead of Andy. Andy is P3, 0.1 behind Alex. Alex is second, 0.2 ahead of Andy. Pete on lap 6 is second, 0.2 behind Alex. Andy is third, 0.6 ahead of Dan. Pete is P2, 0.3 behind Alex. Andy is third, 0.5 ahead of Dan. Alex is second, battling Dan. Alex lost P3 to Henry. Dan is P2, 0.5 behind Andy. Henry is P3, 0.9 ahead of Alex. Henry was 2.3 faster last lap. Dan is P2, 0.3 behind Andy. Henry is P3, 1.0 behind Dan. Dan on lap 7 is P2, 0.4 behind Andy. Henry is P3, 0.7 ahead of Alex. Dan is P2. Best lap is a 0:58.201. 0.677 of the fastest lap. Henry is P3, 0.6 ahead of Alex. Dan is second, 0.7 behind Andy. Henry is P3. Dan is second, 0.7 behind Andy. Henry is fourth, 1.3 behind Alex. Dan is P2, 0.6 behind Andy. Phil is P5, 1.4 behind Henry. Dan is P2, 0.9 behind Andy. Alex is third, 1.2 behind Dan. Dan is P2, 0.9 behind Andy. Alex is P3, 1.3 behind Dan. Dan is P2, 0.9 behind Andy. Alex is third, 1.0 behind Dan. Dan is P2, 0.6 ahead of Alex. Alex is third. Best lap is a 0:57.382. Dan is second, 0.6 ahead of Alex. Alex is third, 0.5 behind Dan. Dan is second, 0.5 ahead of Alex. Alex on lap 9 is P3, 0.4 behind Dan. Dan is P2. Alex is P3. Dan is second, 0.5 ahead of Alex. Alex is P3, 0.5 behind Dan. Dan is second, 0.5 ahead of Alex. Alex is third, 0.5 behind Dan. Dan is P2, 0.7 behind Andy. Alex is P3, 0.2 behind Dan. Dan is P2 battling Alex. Phil on lap 10 is P5, 0.5 ahead of Paul. Alex is P2 battling Dan. Dan is P3. Alex is second, 0.3 ahead of Dan. Dan is third, 0.3 behind Alex. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Phil is fifth, 0.5 ahead of Paul. Dan is third, 0.2 behind Alex. Phil is P5, 0.4 ahead of Paul. Dan is third, 0.7 behind Alex. Phil is fifth, 0.1 ahead of Paul. Dan is P3, 0.8 behind Alex. Phil is P5, 0.1 ahead of Paul. Dan is third, 0.7 behind Alex. Paul is P6. Alex is P2. Dan is P3, 0.9 behind Alex. Alex is second. Dan is third, 0.9 behind Alex. Alex on lap 12 is second, 1.0 ahead of Dan. Dan is third, 1.0 behind Alex. Alex is second. Dan is third, 1.4 behind Alex. Alex on lap 13 is P2, 1.2 behind Andy. Steve is P6, 0.4 behind Paul. Steve was 1.3 faster last lap. Alex is second, 1.0 behind Andy. Steve is P6, 0.4 behind Paul. Alex on lap 13 is second, 0.6 behind Andy. Steve is sixth. Best lap is a 0:57.640. 0.435 of the fastest lap. Alex is P2, 0.3 behind Andy. Steve is sixth, 0.5 behind Paul. Alex is second, 0.2 behind Andy. Steve is sixth, 0.4 behind Paul. Alex is second, 0.1 behind Andy. Steve is P6, 0.6 behind Paul. Alex is P2, 0.3 behind Andy. Steve is 6th, 0.6 behind Paul. Alex is 2nd, 0.2 behind Andy. Steve on lap 14 is P6, 0.7 behind Paul. Stuart is P7, 0.8 behind Steve. Steve was 0.7 faster last lap. Alex is 2nd, 0.1 behind Andy. Alex was 1.1 faster last lap. Steve is P6. Alex is P2, 0.2 behind Andy. Steve is 6th. Stuart is P7, 0.7 behind Steve. Alex is 2nd, 0.7 ahead of Dan. Steve is 6th, 0.6 ahead of Stuart. Alex is P2, 0.5 behind Andy. Steve is P6, 0.6 ahead of Stuart. Alex is 2nd, 0.4 behind Andy. Steve on lap 15 is P6, 0.6 ahead of Stuart. Alex is P2, 0.5 behind Andy. Steve is 6th, 0.6 ahead of Stuart. Alex is 2nd, 0.4 behind Andy. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Steve is P6, 0.3 ahead of Stuart. Alex on lap 16 is 2nd, 0.5 behind Andy. Steve is P6. Best lap is a 0:57.620. 0.613 of the fastest lap. Alex on lap 16 is 2nd, 0.2 behind Andy. Steve is 6th, 0.1 ahead of Stuart. Alex on lap 16 is P2, 0.3 behind Andy. Steve is P6. Alex is 2nd, 0.2 behind Andy. Steve is P6, 0.3 ahead of Stuart. Stuart is P7. Best lap is a 0:57.330. 0.323 of the fastest lap. Andy is 2nd, 1.1 ahead of Dan. Dan is 3rd. Best lap is a 0:57.611. 0.604 of the fastest lap. Andy on lap 17 is 2nd, 1.2 behind Alex. Dan is P3, 0.9 behind Andy. Andy is P2, 0.7 ahead of Dan. Dan is P3, 0.7 behind Andy. Dan was 1.7 faster last lap. Steve is 6th, 0.8 behind Paul. Dan is 3rd, 0.6 behind Andy. Steve is 6th, 0.8 behind Paul. Andy is 2nd. Best lap is a 0:57.322. 0.315 of the fastest lap. Dan is 3rd, 1.0 behind Andy. Andy is 2nd, 1.3 behind Alex. Dan is 3rd, 1.0 behind Andy. Andy is 2nd. Dan is P3, 0.9 behind Andy. Andy is P2. Dan is P3. Andy is P2, 1.0 ahead of Dan. behind Andy. Andy is second, 1.2 ahead of Dan. Dan is third, 1.2 behind Andy. Andy is P2, 1.2 ahead of Dan. Dan is third, 1.1 behind Andy. Andy is second, 0.9 ahead of Dan. Dan is third. Paul is fifth, 0.5 ahead of Steve. Dan is third, 0.9 behind Andy. Paul is fifth, 0.6 behind Henry. Dan is P3, 1.0 behind Andy. Paul is fifth, 0.7 behind Henry. Dan is P3, 1.0 behind Andy. Paul is fifth, 0.8 behind Henry. Dan is third. Paul is fifth, 0.6 ahead of Steve. Dan is third. Steve is P5. Best lap is a 0:57.292. 0.285 of the fastest lap. Dan is P3, 1.2 behind Andy. Steve is fifth. The leader has just finished the race. Alex finished first. Andy finished second. Dan finished third. Henry finished P4. Steve finished fifth. Stuart finished P6. Paul finished seventh. Phil finished 8th. Colin finished P9. Pete finished 10th. Pete finished P10. Hassab finished P11. Stu finished 12th.